I'm Professor Hatter, or you could call me Jeff or Jeffrey. I'm doing a special video today. No new hats, no hats really. Of course, I'm talking about hats, but talking about a big birthday, big anniversary. The big 1, 2, 3. That's me. I'm turning 3 years old today. Well, officially as Professor Hatter. At the time of you watching this debut, June 19th is my birthday. Well, kind of conflicted. I mean, my channel started, I opened the channel on June 10th, and 2018, but my first video didn't come out until June 19th. I recorded my first video on June 18th. We'll just go with June 19th. I mean, that's what I've had penciled down anyways for the calendar. That's what I usually do anyways. So, also to tie into current events as I'm recording, Juneteenth has been recognized as a federal/national holiday. So give a hats off and a cheers to having that accomplished as a recognition of American history and American culture and American people. But for my birthday, I'm turning 3. I've been doing YouTube a lot longer than most. But for me, I've been doing YouTube 3 years now. Kind of in the kind of on the older side of some of the other channels that are out there. For sure not as popular, but I've been around for quite a while. Let's get into the history here. I did a Q&A on my Instagram story, asking, like, hey, I'm going to do a 3-year anniversary video. What's the question you want to ask? And I didn't get too many responses. But one of the more popular questions, of course, was, how did you start the channel? What/who inspired you? And that's a combination of two parties. It's one, when I first started hat collecting back in like 2016, I might have it here. My first hat that I got from Lids, I kind of became a hat collector from this one. It's a Cubs 47 brand MVP. It's got a gray bottom, so can't hate on that. It does have a Velcro back and a structured crown. First Lids purchase, first taste of what hat collecting could be, and here we are some 300 hats later. I started the channel with 57 hats. I became a hat collector in 2016, but didn't start the channel until 2018. But I had 57 hats when I started the channel, so that's why on my Instagram handle at the professor is just a little bit too much to spell out. I think just Professor Hatter 57. And I started with 57 hats, kind of as a marker of, how long I've come. And I'm currently sitting at about just over 420 hats. There are a few I don't count in my collection, but we'll say over 420 hats. Near 425 probably. But what inspired me were two parties to make my channel. One was the initial inspiration of watching, I think it was in 2017 that they did it. Team Fitted TV on YouTube. Bunch of guys, 6 or 7 of them, did their own daily stream on YouTube at night, and they would have their own kind of hat collection. They would have their own kind of personality, their own takes on things, and it was just enjoyable to watch all of them. I will say that 2 of my favorites were Tuesday Night, Interstate Report with John Bear. You might have seen him. He hasn't done YouTube in a long time, but he's done a few segments on Views from the Vault channel here and there. And every time I watch his videos on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, he has a big wall of hats, and that's what led him to be the first Ultimate Hat Collector winner from Lids in 2017. But what I love his wall, and I'd always especially stare at those hockey hats in the background, knowing that one day I will collect all 31, 30 NHL 59-50 fitted teams. Um, and then Joel Montaigne, as he would say, worst collector Wednesday. He combined a lot of shoe collections and hat collecting, and he was from Chicago. Had very out of there kind of hats. Nothing that was like too mainstream at the time. Granted, this was 2017, and beforehand, this was before all these hype hats out, and that's when the hat colors were like, "What is that?" And now it's like, "Oh yeah, I know, I get it." Before it was like, "Whoa, whoa, that's a lot." But he went there, and both of those two um, gave me a lot of inspiration to want to make a YouTube channel, but wouldn't be until 2018 that after so many weeks and months of I worked at Fresh Time grocery store in my hometown. I pushed carts all the time, and in my head I'd be like, okay, if I had my own YouTube channel, I would talk about this. I'd do this kind of animation. I'd do this kind of intro. I'd talk about this. I'd get this kind of hat, and then getting carts would be done. I'd be back to work, and I would talk about hats with one of my coworkers, Peter, and he indulged into and somehow tolerated all my hat talking at the time. Still does. And eventually, he just pushed me, metaphorically speaking. He just said, make the channel. Jeff, just make the channel. Because I had been talking about it for so long. So I'm sure he was either annoyed, or he was really interested about what I could really do with a YouTube hat channel. So it was June 10th I officially made the channel. June 18th I recorded my first intro video. And June 19th it went up. My first, and that was like an introductory video. My first official hat video. I talked about the 2018 NBA draft hats. The ones that had I think it was like mesh kind of Diamond Tech. It was Diamond Tech kind of technology material on the crown. And then the brim was like a weird velvet suede. It was not a good hat. Looking back on it, it was not a good hat. But for me, that was one of my most viewed videos of all time. Granted, that was about the NBA draft, and I'm sure people looking up the NBA draft, kind of a big nomenclature. But I'm sure a lot of people were looking about the NBA draft and wanted to see what it was about, and hey, it's in his video title, so I might as well see what it is. And I don't know what I talked. The only thing I remember talking about was watching. I think I was watching the actual draft at the time for the video, and I remember yelling at the Utah Jazz for not Grayson Allen. They picked him. He was from Duke. He was such a son of a bitch. He was a dirty player. No one liked him, and they picked him. And Donovan Mitchell was his end of his rookie year, going into the second year, and he was excited that Grayson was selected. And okay, if Donovan likes him, maybe I'll give him a chance. Grayson Allen maybe played at most 2 games in full time for the Jazz. So that's what I remember from one of my first YouTube videos I made. And from there, those were my 2 initial inspirations. The Team Fitted TV guys inspired me to make the YouTube channel, and then Peter from work actually pushing me to make the channel. And from there, I had seen some other hat channels out there. The only other one I can really think of was Stray616 before I started my channel, along with Team Fitted TV. But after I started my channel, I started to watch more YouTubers. The main one that was out there, Major League Hats. The first time that him and I had interaction was about 2 hats. It was a Lids pickup that I had when Lids was cool. I had gotten a Atlanta Braves low profile home hat. I think I have it here. It was this one, and it was about this Vegas hockey hat that I got because I'm a Vegas Golden Knights fan, and I had gotten this because they had gotten to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018. This was a gift that my brother gave me like a month late from my birthday, but totally fine. Still one of my best gifts, one of my best hats. And this one was a online store pickup. And I was sitting at my dinner table talking about the new hats. I'm like, hey, I'm a big Atlanta Braves fan. They're my number 2 team because my dad lived in Atlanta, and I'm a Vegas hockey fan. And this one was cool, but the side patch was like all wonky. Like half of it wasn't stitched on. And he had commented like, oh, hey, here's like an idea of how to fix it. Hope you get it fixed. And from there, it's been 3 years of us with each other, kind of doing this whole hat YouTubing thing. I mean, he's been technically around longer than I have, by a few months, but he's older in YouTube age, older in actual age too. And I watched a lot of his videos when I was first starting to kind of get a better cadence, kind of a better rhythm, maybe like a better idea of how to organize my own videos. I mean, everyone does their own thing, but of course, you want to watch some other people, see what they're doing, kind of draw some inspiration. So he was inspirational at the beginning. Sean Stay Fitted, when he was under 1,000 subscribers, it's hard to think that one of the biggest YouTube hat names out there was at one point he was under 1,000, and I learned about him through Major League Hats. And Sean Stay Fitted, he's been around since like 2017. So those two were big channels I watched. Trends Unlimited, he combined shoes and hats, Atlanta hats. And that was also another channel that I've watched and kind of been inspired through. And I mentioned a little bit earlier, Dre616. He doesn't do a lot of, he doesn't do any like, new hats for his videos. He does a lot of hat topic videos, which is totally different than what everyone else does. And I've tried to draw inspiration. I've tried to make my own videos kind of on that kind of foundation. I have the foundation. The execution, I do way worse because I talk a lot. I made a hat chat video that's going to come out in a few days or a few weeks, maybe, I don't know when, talking about hat sizing. That's a simple topic that, a lot of hat channels talk about on YouTube. And, he would probably do something informational, maybe 15 minutes max. Great, straight to the point information. For me, I turned that into a 40-minute video. Anyways, so there's been a lot of inspiration for me to draw upon and watch and kind of grow with. I mean, I'm not the biggest name out there. I know that there have been, all of their channels that I mentioned have over 1,000 subscribers, for sure. Actually, all of them at least have, no, yeah, all of them have at least 1,000 subscribers. And, it took me until a year and a half later to get to 100 subscribers. And then it took another year and a half to get to 200 subscribers. And in the meantime, there have been new channels that came out in 2020. A lot of new channels came out. Fitted Insider, Views from the Vault, Ray's Kicks and Sings, Jay's Fitteds. Used to be the Hat Collector, but he changed his name to Addicted to Fitteds. Nucci87. I don't think it was 2020, but Ace Boogie. He is big name channel out there. I regret not watching him enough. I know that he's out there. I want to say her channel name is Little Feet Big Head, something like that. I'll try to put the actual name in the screen here. Another big name for hats. I don't watch enough of. I watch, here and there, but I don't watch enough of. I don't. I mean, I try to have my notifications set for all the other channels, hat channels that come out. And there's way more than what I had mentioned. Um, and I'm gonna try to put all of the hat channels that I know at least in the comments down below, so that you can also go follow them, because there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, but the only good stuff on YouTube is hats, really. I mean, that's biased, but I love that there's a lot more channels out there now, a lot more to kind of be inspired from, and it's a lot of fun to see, what else comes out, who else, comes out to make a channel. For me, it is, I will be truthful that I do get a little bitter that, these newer channels have come out, and, for sure I know that Fitted Insider and Views in the Vault have over 1,000 subscribers. They came out last year and just grew exponentially. And I mean, Fitted Insider hasn't done a video in months, and he's still probably getting new subscribers. He still has a lot of people calling about him, being so great with hats. And like there's other channels out there that have, been around for not even a year, and they've already spawned like 200, 300, 500 subscribers, which is totally fine. But I mean, I make these way different videos than a lot of other hat channels do. It kind of coincides with the fact that I have had a different past with video making. I don't know everyone's past, who else does YouTube hat channels out there, but for me, I've been doing like video making since I was in 4th, maybe 5th grade. It started with watching VH1's Top 20 Music Video Countdown Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, if I didn't catch all of it on Saturday. And kind of inspired to, put music and make a story out of it, because I was starting to get into music myself. I was starting to get into trombone, and everyone likes music, so I wanted to do my own kind of music video. And I used Windows Movie Maker on, I'm sure it was Windows XP at the time. And the first music video that I made was to a Cubs song. Or a dedicated song to Harry Carey, and just made a slide montage, really, of all these pictures, and some animations to talk about the remembrance and the dedication and honoring Harry Carey. And then the other one that I made early on was a music video slideshow to What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Through 6th grade and through middle school, I got into video making, because I got into iMovie a lot there with the Apple computer at school. And we did movie projects for our Lego robotics team that I was a part of for the 3 years that I was in middle school. 7th grade, we did a movie team project. Same thing in 8th grade, sorry. And I did my own special effects. In 7th grade, we did like a video about this ice cream store that started off as a journal store, then became like a disco record store, then became a dentist office, and then became so many other things, and eventually became an ice cream store. And at one point, a car had driven into the store and kind of damaged it. And I had made a Lego house and used one of my Matchbox cars to break the house that I made. So I did my own effects even back then. So I had this inclination of movie making and video making. Movie seems too big for what I'm talking about, but video making. And into high school, I did a lot of the student council commercials, because I was the only person that was able to learn and know the newer version of iMovie that came out in 2011. When it went from the clapboard to the star logo. Did a lot of those commercials. They liked those. And I just did a lot of movies and video making. And it's just been inside me to kind of learn more about videos. So that's why I have this different approach, way different approach than every other YouTuber out there. That the only thing I can really brag on with my channel is two things. One, my hat diversity, which we'll talk about later. But two, the other thing that I can really brag on is I have the best edits of any YouTube channel out there. That much to say? Probably not, because, is it really the presentation that, makes that gets the subs? From my experience, no. Because everyone else does a simple point and shoot video making kind of scheme, which is fine. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, but I try to spice it up and do a lot of different things here and there. I mean, I use green screen technology. I've learned how to use a green screen to make things appear or disappear. I've used it to cut off my own head. I've lit hats on fire. I've cloned myself. I've almost ran myself over with a car. I've teleported myself to Wrigley Field. Not only Wrigley Field, but I've also teleported myself into 2003 Wrigley Field. I've done a lot of things with my editing and all the different effects, different ways to tell the story differently. And do I overthink all this stuff? You bet I do. But that's just me. That's why I don't really have a consistent, schedule. Everyone else, does a point and shoot video. It's simple for them. Maybe they add an intro. Maybe they add like a little, fire emoji. Nucci. Love those. Or they'll, drop a subscribe button kind of effect, animation, and maybe something else. But, it's minimalistic. They use iMovie. Totally fine. Big kids like me use Premiere Pro. I've gotten used to After Effects. I started Blender at one point, but that was I didn't want to do that anymore. I was gonna cry myself trying to make an object. I've even tried DaVinci Resolve, but we're not gonna go there. So I do a lot more. I try to do a lot more storytelling, and use a lot of different aspects to tell stories about hats, because I am a hat channel. Everyone else out there, yes, this thing that we put on our heads is called a hat, but really, everyone else is a fitted channel, which is fine, except for Dre616, because he does talk about other kind of hats here and there, but for the most part, I'm the only hat channel out there. Everyone else does a great job of talking about hats, talking about fitted hats, talking about the same fitted hats that the other guys talk about. And I do that too as well. But who else out there is getting dad hats? Who else out there is getting bucket hats? Who else out there is getting random hats, a presidential hat, getting college hats, getting Ivy caps? This one especially is one of my favorite ones. This is my grandpa hat that my grandpa Nelson, my mom's dad, had worn. Had only for a bit. It outgrew him very fast. But and the other one, where'd it go? My original thinking hat. This was my mom's dad, so my great-grandfather's hat that he would wear to church back in the 20s and the 30s. And my mom had her own kind of fedora, her own thinking hat that I would wear myself when I was younger. And I got my own in second or third grade, but I put this as my number one hat in my collection. I have a whole inventory of hats. I go in chronological order of when I have physically obtained the hat. I might get like a pre-order hat from Hat Club in May, but any other hat I get in May that I physically hold, I count that first. But this is number one, and this is number two in my collection, just because of the importance of family, what it means to me. This hat has a lot of history. It's been frayed. My grandmother says how the churches back then, in the pews, they would have hooks underneath the pew benches so that all the gentlemen could hang their hats below the seat. They wouldn't have to put it next to them. They wouldn't have to, put in their lap, be uncomfortable. They wouldn't have to put on the floor. It just hangs nicely, out of sight, out of reach. Well, not out of reach, but it's off the floor. It's nice. It's the original hat pal, the hook. And just for a laugh here for everyone, this does not fit. I think my great grandpa Huxhold was probably 7 1/4, maybe 7 1/8, but it was a small head. But the meaning of the hat is so profound and so large for me. But that's what I mean when I say about hat diversity. That hat diversity at its core means a variation of accepting different hats. That, it's fine that everyone has, fitted hats. Everyone, I do hear quarrels about snapbacks, the plastic on the back. It would melt. It was bad material. That's fine. For me, snapbacks are great. Dad hats are great. Dad hats are getting cool now. They have dad hats with color underbrims. I recently got, where'd it go? I recently got a pink lemonade dad hat. Dad hats are cool. They were always cool for me, but they're becoming cool. So, I'm the only hat channel out there that covers hats. I can cover more. I do have about half my collection is fitted, but only half of my 420 some hats are fitted hats. And not even all of those are 50 fitted hats. This is a fitted hat. This is a fitted hat. My bucket hat over there, the fitted hat, technically. It's one size. So I pride my channel in that I have all this diversity with the different hats I have, not just in different hat types, but WNBA hats, TV hats, history hats, museum hats, other women professional teams, the hockey and the soccer teams, college hats. I have city hats. I have national park hats. I have a whole array, store hats. I have a whole array of different hats. And of course, everyone takes pride in their own collection. But for me, that's why I think my channel is so great. That you see different hats here. Well, not everyone sees different hats because I'm only at 208 or 209 subscribers as I'm recording this video. But, everyone out there, all the other YouTubers will say, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. I'm like that too. And they're like, oh, it's, a lot of hard work, to make this kind of content, to make these videos. I get it. It does. It does. There's two factors of, putting work into a video. It's either a time or an effort to make a video. Some things are time consuming, some things are effort consuming, some things are both. Everyone does it at their own pace. And clearly, it shows that all your hard work has paid off. I can only think of maybe 3 or 4 channels out there among the probably 24 hat channels that I can think of right now that, as I'm recording, that are under 200, that are under me in subscribers. But I'm sure in about, oh, look at that, it's been 5 seconds and everyone else is ahead of me. But I do joke that it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work for no one to watch my videos. I mean, all the video work that I put in, that's time and effort. But do I get all the views I want? No. Do I get the subscribers I want? Not really. Screw the likes. Likes don't mean anything for me. I don't care about the likes or the dislikes. Whatever. Fine. I love the comments more often, that I can interact with people. And through the years, I've had the faithful students that are there just about every video. Like I mentioned before, Major League Hats. He goes by Hatfield PHC now. He's gone through some identity changes. Reds fan in Florida, J38, Rob S, Wrestle Machine 28, MTS from Down Under. He did his own YouTube channel for a while. I wish he would do it again, but I understand where he comes from when he says like it's kind of awkward to just sit in front of a camera with no actual person to talk to. I get it. It's kind of awkward too. I've gotten used to my own voice. It at first was cringy to listen to, but I've gotten used to it. I know Caden is out there. I'm thinking about this hat chat group I'm in. Those guys were there. I'm trying to Mark Moore from across the pond, the future Britain Prime Minister, and me being the future president. We will make hats great in America again. We will open up the Derby plant in New York again, start new American jobs, and it's gonna be great. So those guys have been there for me a lot. I know some of those newer YouTube channels I've been in contact with. They're also great. Appreciate the support and also the inspiration. We might not talk directly about YouTubing for hats, but I do get inspiration from them. Of what to do, like what kind of energy to bring. Now, granted, there's no matching the energy that Nucci brings, but indirectly, they are inspirational. So all 208, 9, whatever, 200 some subscribers I'm at, those are all earned for me. It might be easy to, just subscribe to a hat channel or just a YouTube channel out there and be like, yeah, well, I'm subscribed, so, I'm part of the group here. But do you put anything back into it? Do you watch it all the time? I feel like I've earned my subscribers, and means a lot. It does sound like I'm bitching and moaning that all these other YouTube channels out there for hats, they're bigger in subscribers. They are so much. I've been around for so long. I've been around before Hype Hats. I've been around before all these color underbrim hats, all these side patches. I've been around, so I think that's a testimony to how far the channel has come for me. I know that there are a few other channels out there that have been around longer than me. Even hats, Sean Stay Fitted, Dre616, Trends Unlimited, the main ones I can think of. But everyone else after us, especially in 2020, just kind of got onto the hype train. But I think it's a testimony that I've been around this long. I keep making videos, and yes, everyone seems to drink the Kool-Aid of like, oh, new YouTuber out there, new YouTube hat channel. They're talking about all the new Hat Club, My Fitted, and Sports World 165 hats, and all the other new hats out there. I mean, yeah, it's fine, but I mean, for me, I enjoy thoroughly making these videos. Sometimes I make it more of a pain in the ass than it should be, but no matter how much I complain that you might take it as, no matter if I bitch about something, or if I might sound ungrateful, if I might sound jealous, if this is your first time watching me, this is how I'm coming off. let me tell you this. Every time I make a video, there's enjoyment behind it. It's either because it's about a cool new hat that I get, even a dad hat, because I love dad hats. Dad hats might be better than fitted hats. It might be because I have a great idea behind a video, a funny sketch behind a video, where I'm talking about my Atlanta Flames hat, and like, hey, what if I light my hat on fire? It's not because it's also because of like that, idea, but it's also another factor of like learning something new about video editing, video tricks, special effects, and I'm still learning. I mean, I've kind of gotten down like the special effects, but like now I want to get better with like the storytelling with my videos in the future. Um, I mean, I can recall I made a documentary about the 1919 Chicago White Sox Black Sox scandal. That was a huge endeavor. But every time I make one of those videos, whether it be like a small point and shoot video, like I recently did with an unboxing, for a Cubs hat at work that was like 5 minutes long, or whether it be a 2-part documentary with each video being about 35-40 minutes. I enjoy making these videos, no matter how little or how many people see it. I enjoy doing this. It excites me, whether it be the hat I'm talking about, the comedy, the skit idea I have for it, or the aspect of the video making process excites me. So I will continue to make all this great content that is so unique. I have more coming out. Every other hat channel out there for YouTube, you are doing great. I watch as much as I can. I need to have my notifications better set. Like every so often, I do see Paul 510. I see his videos and I kind of like okay, I'll get to it, and then at one point I just do a whole binge of like 10 of his videos. I need to get better at just watching videos consistently when they come out. So every other hat channel out there is doing great. I'm not saying that I'm the ambassador, that everything goes through me. Not like that at all. I'm not the oldest channel out there, so I don't have I have some veteranship, but I don't have that much stake. I don't have a lot of clout, really. I mean, I'm an old man, but I'm still small. But I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the interaction that I do have with other hat collectors out there, and I have enjoyed doing this for 3 years. Currently, I'm in a paralegal class that I'll be done with by this time next year in 2022. I'm hoping to still be making YouTube. I mean, I'm not thinking about turning off the channel until something like drastic happens, but I will make the time to make these videos. Because I want to put a lot of effort into these videos that just will wow everyone. So if you haven't already subscribed, take a watch. Let me know if I have earned your subscription. I want to earn your interest. I mean, you could, just be like, hey, cool, hat channel, subscribe. That's fine too. But I feel like I've earned my subscribers. I've come a long way with building the channel, learning a lot of different things, learning that I spelled professor wrong for a while, until one of my coworkers, Lindsay from the Chicago Board of Elections, had pointed out I spelled professor wrong. That was like for the first like 4, maybe 5 months that I spelled professor wrong for my channel name. So yeah. So I've come a long way. Just a little I meant to talk about this at the beginning. The name Professor Hatter comes from my nickname in 5th grade from my teacher, Mr. McGovern. I was called the Professor. Why? I guess I appeared to be smart. I wasn't always the smartest, but I ran with that nickname for a while, and I carried it into here. And Hatter comes from the Swedish language for hats. Because I'm part Swedish, Czech Republic, and German. The other two names for hats in Czech and German were too long, or it had too many accents over it. But with Sweden, Hatter. Hattar. Hattar. And there you have Professor Hatter. So, if I've earned your interest, let me know. I want to earn your interest. That's what I want to do here, and make good content. Great. Not just good, but great, unique content that is different from everyone else. Everyone else has their own pros of, why they're a great YouTube hat channel. But for me, being the #1 hat channel, talking about a whole diversity of hats. So it's a lot to handle, but I enjoy doing it. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy talking about hats. I enjoy you. So, your homework, keep watching. So, that's going to do it for today in class. As always, hats off to you for watching. I say that because I talk so much that if you watch my videos all the way through, I truly give you a hats off for watching me all the way through. And I'll see you next time in class, everyone. Class is dismissed. Bye, everyone.